Shania Twain's life is a testament to resilience, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of dreams despite immense obstacles. Few know, however, about a remarkable chapter involving Ricky Nelson, a story she only chose to reveal at the age of 60. Born Eileen Regina Edwards on August 28, 1965, in Windsor, Ontario, she spent her formative years in Timmins, a small, rugged mining town shaped by hardship and scarcity. Her family struggled constantly to make ends meet, and from an early age, she learned the realities of living in poverty. She often went hungry, wore hand-me-down clothing, and relied on her own creativity and resourcefulness to navigate a difficult childhood. Despite these challenges, she discovered music early as a source of comfort and emotional expression. Singing offered her an escape from the harshness of life, and her innate ability to convey melody and tell stories through song became apparent almost immediately. Even as a child, she sought opportunities to perform, sometimes singing in local bars and clubs long before she was legally permitted to enter, both to supplement her family's income and to immerse herself in the art that would eventually define her identity. Her upbringing was emotionally turbulent, as well as financially constrained. Shania witnessed domestic instability and faced hardships that would overwhelm many children. Yet, these early experiences instilled in her a determination and inner strength that refused to be extinguished. She cultivated a belief that her voice had the power to transcend her circumstances and open doors to possibilities far beyond the confines of Timmins. As she grew into her teenage years, her talent became increasingly apparent, and by her late teens and early 20s, she nurtured aspirations of a professional music career. Life, however, had more trials in store. At the age of 21, she suffered the devastating loss of both her parents in a car accident, an event that irrevocably altered the course of her life. Suddenly, she was thrust into the role of caretaker for her younger siblings, a responsibility she had never anticipated. In the face of grief, she prioritized family stability over personal ambition, taking a singing position at Deerhurst Resort in Ontario to provide support. Despite these pressures, her abilities and passion for music were recognized, laying the foundation for her eventual rise. Her persistence eventually brought her to the attention of Mercury Records in the early 1990s. It was during this period that she adopted the stage name Shania, meaning on my way in Ojibwe, a symbol of her personal journey forward. Her debut album revealed glimpses of exceptional talent, catching the eye of producer Robert John Mutt Lang, who recognized her unique potential both as a singer and as a songwriter. Their collaboration would later redefine the landscape of country music, blending pop, rock, and country in innovative and genre-defying ways. Over time, their working relationship grew into a personal connection, culminating in marriage in December 1993. Together, they created albums that broke records and challenged norms within the genre. The Woman in Me and Come On Over became not only commercial triumphs, but cultural milestones. Chart-topping hits like Any Man of Mine, You're Still the One, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman catapulted her into international superstardom. While her musical achievements were celebrated globally, her personal life contained hidden stories, including the chapter with Ricky Nelson that remained private for decades. For years, Shania remained quiet about her encounters with Nelson, choosing instead to focus on her career and personal recovery from hardship. At 60, however, she felt ready to share the truth, providing insight into an experience she had long kept private. She described her early interactions with Nelson as layered and complex, blending admiration, curiosity, and the unavoidable tensions that arise when a young artist engages with an established figure during formative years. This candid revelation reveals a side of Shania rarely seen by the public: thoughtful, reflective, and deeply human. It illustrates that even someone who has achieved legendary status experiences moments of uncertainty and emotional nuance. By revisiting these memories, she demonstrates growth, courage, and a willingness to confront the past with honesty, underscoring her resilience not only as an artist, but as a person willing to embrace vulnerability. tracing her journey from her early years in Timmins to her emergence as a country pop icon reveals a story defined by determination, grit, and unwavering self-confidence. The revelation regarding Ricky Nelson adds depth to this narrative, highlighting the ways in which personal and professional experiences intertwine to shape identity. Many formative experiences remain hidden from public view, yet they have lasting influence on character and perspective. By sharing these moments, Shania conveys that life's path is rarely straightforward. It is often a mixture of admiration, frustration, learning, and growth. This chapter offers a lens into the honesty, courage, and emotional insight that define her music and her life, giving audiences a fuller understanding of the person behind the fame. Shania Twain's ascent to stardom was never without struggle. Her personal life mirrored the intensity and challenges of her professional journey. After signing with Mercury Records and beginning her collaboration with Mutt Lange, she refined her musical abilities while navigating the emotional complexities of rising fame. Together, they crafted albums that became foundational in country pop, yet Shania faced vulnerabilities that were rarely visible to fans. The pressures of international acclaim, combined with personal responsibilities and health concerns, demanded extraordinary resilience. Among the defining aspects of her life were her experiences with prominent musical figures such as Ricky Nelson. Though these encounters were not publicly discussed for decades, she now reveals that they had a profound influence on her understanding of fame, professionalism, and personal boundaries. Meeting Nelson was initially an intimidating experience. As an emerging artist striving to establish herself, Shania admired not only his musical legacy, but also his commanding stage presence and charismatic persona. Yet, the encounters were far from simple. They encompassed moments of admiration, as well as pressure and expectation, challenging her to navigate complex emotional and professional dynamics. Having learned early how to survive and adapt, she understood that relationships with iconic figures required emotional intelligence, patience, and confidence. Her reflections demonstrate that even someone of her own accomplishments had to contend with insecurities and curiosity, balancing reverence for legends with her own self-assurance. Beyond her interactions with Nelson, her personal life remained full and intricate, characterized by unwavering dedication to her craft, family, and growth as a person. Her marriage to Mutt Lange in 1993 cemented a partnership that was both creative and personal, propelling her career to heights few could imagine. Albums such as The Woman in Me and Come On Over displayed her vocal range, storytelling ability, and intuitive connection with audiences. Yet, her path was not without setbacks. Their marriage ended in 2008 following Lange's affair with her close friend and personal assistant, a betrayal that struck at the core of her personal life. Compounding this, she was diagnosed with dysphonia and Lyme disease, conditions that threatened her voice, the instrument that had defined her career. The temporary loss of her ability to sing was devastating both physically and emotionally. Still, through rigorous therapy, relentless practice, and unshakable determination, she regained her voice and confidence, proving once again that adversity could not halt her progress. During this period of recovery, Shania revisited earlier experiences, including her encounters with Nelson, realizing that what might have once seemed like awkwardness, intimidation, or tension was in fact part of the process of growth as an artist and as an individual. She learned to navigate professional environments, recognize her own capabilities, and cultivate a perspective that only comes with experience. This understanding shaped the way she later approached relationships with fans, collaborators, and other musicians. By the time she publicly discussed Nelson, she could articulate the insights she had gained with clarity, emotional intelligence, and honesty. Her story regarding Nelson, once a subtle part of her early career narrative, now serves as a symbol of the hidden complexities inherent in fame, talent, and personal development. It reflects the broader arc of her journey, demonstrating how formative experiences and challenges, as well as interactions with influential figures, influence one's trajectory. Revealing the truth about Nelson illustrates Shania's courage and authenticity. It gives fans a window into a reality that exists beyond charts, awards, and public appearances. This chapter of her life underscores a central truth. Behind every superstar lies a human story full of adaptation, learning, and emotional growth. Shania's journey from humble beginnings in Timmins to global superstardom has been defined by perseverance, insight, and the ability to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Her disclosure about Nelson is not merely a personal confession, but a culmination of decades of experience, self-awareness, and maturity. Shania explains that her interactions with Nelson were never about scandal or gossip, but rather about learning, gaining inspiration, and understanding perspective while encountering a musical icon at a formative stage. For her, it was a blend of admiration, respect, and the natural complexities that arise when a young artist meets someone whose legacy is monumental. These experiences reinforced lessons in professionalism, artistry, and self-confidence, complementing the lessons she had already learned through hardship, career advancement, and personal trials. Her story continues to inspire, not only through her musical accomplishments, but also because of her extraordinary resilience. From enduring poverty, losing her parents and raising her siblings, to confronting betrayal, illness, and professional pressures, Shania has shown remarkable determination at every stage. She rebuilt her career after setbacks that could have ended it and continues to evolve through new albums, Las Vegas residencies, documentaries, and public appearances. Her warmth, humor, and humility make her relatable, while her achievements render her extraordinary and admirable. Discussing Ricky Nelson openly is part of a broader narrative of reflection and honesty. It demonstrates that even globally celebrated artists continue to learn from each encounter, and sharing those lessons can benefit others. Shania encourages fans to look beyond superficial impressions and understand the intricate realities of human relationships, especially in the context of fame and music. She highlights that personal growth often emerges from a mix of admiration, challenge, and introspection. By revealing these truths, she adds profound depth to her legacy, proving that fame does not shield one from emotional complexity, that talent does not prevent learning, and that even legends evolve over time through reflection. Her story of meeting Ricky Nelson is therefore more than a revelation for fans. It symbolizes a life lived with courage, honesty, and the capacity to embrace both triumphs and challenges. From her early years in Timmins to global superstardom, from childhood loss to professional achievements, and from early artistic exploration to decades of success, this revelation reinforces that Shania Twain's life has been shaped not only by her music, but by her resilience, insight, and wisdom gained from experience. It celebrates the power of reflection and growth, demonstrating that understanding the lessons of life is a process refined by time and maturity. For fans, it offers the opportunity to see Shania not only as a performer, but as a self-aware, thoughtful, and inspiring individual whose honesty enriches her life story and conveys lessons far beyond the stage. Shania Twain's path to becoming one of the most successful female country artists in history was fraught with challenges, heartbreak, triumph, and inspiration. Her life has never been simple, and the journey she undertook to achieve success was shaped by circumstances unimaginable to most. Growing up in Timmins, Ontario, Canada, she faced extreme poverty and the tragic loss of both parents at a young age. These hardships forced her into a caretaking role, raising her siblings while navigating the heavy emotional toll of grief and responsibility. Music became her lifeline, offering solace, hope, and an escape from adversity. Among the artists who influenced her, one figure quietly stood out: Ricky Nelson. His music, voice, and television presence captivated her young imagination. She would sit on the living room floor, mesmerized by the smoothness of his voice, the effortless grace of his performances, and the charisma he exuded. To Shania, Nelson was far more than a singer. He represented inspiration, shaping her earliest understanding of artistry, stage presence, and the profound impact music could have on one's life.